So Chris, you're about 16 years old now, and I've been your special needs worker for what, about a year and a half? And I think you're getting at that age where you're getting old enough to give, get, and organize your own personal information.
Yeah, but why is that important?
Well, it's important for you to be able to give and provide information when needed, instead of someone like myself or your parents providing that information for you.
That makes sense. I really don't like when my mom and dad are always answering for me, like when I have a doctor's appointment. But how can I start using this?
Well, actually, Chris, I brought over what's called the Youth Kit, and I was hoping that maybe you and I can go through it together just to kind of take a look at it, because I think this might help.
The Youth Kit is a tool that helps youth with disabilities or chronic conditions to give, get, and organize their own information. Taking control of information about yourself is a natural part of the transition through adolescence and into adulthood for all youth. Like Chris, you are ready to begin using the Youth Kit when questions are beginning to be asked of you and you want to answer them yourself, rather than your parents or someone else answering for you. The Youth Kit is a binder, which forms inside that contain information that is important to youth. All of these forms are also available on a website. More about that later. Since each person is unique, the binder and the forms can be used any way that you want. There is no set order to the Youth Kit. You can design your binder to organize all of your own information as you see it. At the beginning, you can start by just becoming familiar with all of the forms, and then start with what you are comfortable with. The forms are not intended to be completed sequentially, but rather when they match the interest level or information needs of the youth who owns the kit. The whole idea of the Youth Kit is that over time, a young person will take more control of their own information. The Youth Kit is a tool that assists in organizing this information.
This binder looks big. I hope you don't expect me to complete it all right now.
No, I completely understand it is a big binder, but the Youth Kit is designed for you to work at it as you feel fit. So you can do parts right now, and then once you get more comfortable with the Youth Kit, we can do other sections.
So what kind of information should I add?
Well, that's another good question. Remember the party that you were invited to last week, but you couldn't quite remember where it was or what time it was, so we had to ask your mom? Well, the Youth Kit helps with that, and it allows you to record that information so that you don't have to ask later on.
I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it also works on other areas as well. Like, you know how you're always being asked about what medications you take by, myself or the doctor or even your teachers. Well, the Youth Kit allows you to record that information so that you can provide it if you need to, or more importantly, if you want to.
That would be cool, because it gets very frustrating answering the same question about myself over and over again, but how can I start using this?
Well, why don't you and I start looking over the different sections together? After that, we can start filling them out, you and I, and then once you feel more comfortable, you can start doing it yourself. But remember, I'm always here to help you if you need it. And there's also other people that can help, like your mom or someone else at school or something like that.
The sections of the Youth Kit are Planning for Your Future. This is the first section where you work on setting goals for yourself. Personal information, social information, informal and organized activities, school information, including transition into high school or transitioning to post-secondary education, work information, budgeting, personal care, and life skills, medical and health information, and staying organized. In addition, your Youth Kit contains folders where you can keep information, such as reports about yourself, report cards, or information about exercise routines or special diets. Your Youth Kit will contain a lot of information about you, but it is important to remember that not every section should be completed at once. You only need to fill the sections you feel comfortable with and are ready for. Each section starts with some key questions on the divider to see if you are ready to fill out that section. Also, you will see that each form is designed to ask general questions at the beginning, followed by more advanced information to be completed when you're ready to answer those questions. For example, the transportation section begins with identifying your address and identifying the intersections around your house to be able to give friends directions to your house, and progresses to ask questions about accessible and public transportation. One tip to get started is to think about what type of information is most important to you right now by doing the first worksheet on planning for your future, and then you can start working on those sections.
But aren't you going to tell me where to start?
No, this is your Youth Kit. You get to decide when you start, what sections you want to do. Remember, this is your own personal information.
But there are a lot of sections and I don't know where to start. There are some sections I don't even know what the title means.
Well, I can completely understand that. But the Youth Kit has the first section that kind of talks about your interests and your future goals and your own personal information. And that might be a good place to start.
When you're just beginning to take control of your own information, you will probably need some help. We have learned from other youth who have used the Youth Kit that a mentor can really help in the beginning. The mentor is another person, usually someone you know and someone you feel comfortable with. Some examples of people to consider as mentors are special needs workers, educational assistants, or friends. Sometimes it can be your parent at the beginning, but later on you may want someone else. The job of the mentor is not to answer questions for you, but assist you in completing the forms. Remember, this is your information, so only you know how to answer the questions.
So Chris, we can see that you have a couple goals and a couple interests, and that might help us to decide what section we want to start with first. Is there a particular section that you're interested in?
Well, I wouldn't mind going over the social section with you.
That's actually perfect. In fact, we can write down the information about the party that was last week, and we can do that together, you and I. If there's another party coming up, you can do that by yourself. But I also want you to remember that if you ever get stuck or you need any help, I can always help you.
Great. Can we get started?
That sounds great.
This is a brief introduction to the Youth Kit. For more information about the Youth Kit, please go to the following website, www.keepingittogether.ca. On the website, you'll find forms from the Youth Kit that can be completed on the computer or printed out for you to fill in. The website also contains additional information for youth on how to select a mentor and information for mentors. We hope you enjoy the Youth Kit as you begin to take control of your future.